Welcome back to the Talk with Connie. Today we'll visit with David Oman, a native of Los Angeles. David lives in a haunted house, a house so haunted it has been featured on Ghost Hunters, Dead Famous Live, My Ghost Story, Haunted History, Paranormal Witness, Ghost Adventures, and Ghost Adventures Aftershocks. David has been featured on Larry King Live, Extra, TMZ, and CBS News. His home, known as the Oman House, is located on Cielo Drive, a mere 150 feet from where members of the Manson family savagely murdered 5 innocent souls in such a horrific way that it shook not only LA but the entire nation. After 2 years of living in the house he built with his father in 1999, David created a story based on his experiences in the paranormally active home titled House at the End of the Drive. He recently completed his first book, Ghost of Cielo Drive, The Afterlife of Sharon Tate and the Spirits of the Oman House, and he invites you to a live streaming event, the Oman House Live Ghost Investigation Mini Paracon on August 7th and 8th, 51 years after the grisly murders took place. Meet David Oman when we come back. Welcome back. I'm here with David Oman. He is an author, producer, actor, and he also lives in a home that has been called the Mount Everest of haunted houses. Welcome, David.
Thank you for having me on, Connie.
Well, let me start out with asking you this. We mentioned your home. What is the historical significance of your home?
Well, my home sits about 150 feet down the private driveway from where the Sharon Tate murders took place back 51 years ago on August 8th and August 9th, 1969. And as you might well know, of the Sharon Tate murders was not only a tragedy, but it also marked the end of the innocence of the 1960s. Looking back upon that era, that basically was the death knell to the era of peace, love, and understanding, and of all that type of cooperation. It was just the end. The hippies basically started to become out of favor, and it was just an insane tragedy that literally culturally resonated around the entire globe.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were a resident of Los Angeles at that time, of course, where it happened.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked before, and you mentioned some interesting things that happened to you as a child. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, in late 1968, early 1969, and through like mid 69, my mom used to give hitchhikers rides up Linda Flora Drive, going up to in Bel Air from what was Sepulveda Boulevard, which was a main thoroughfare in Los Angeles. And basically, we lived up in the hills of Bel Air as a child. I think I was about 5, 6 years old at the time, and 5 years old at the time. And my mom used to give these girls hitchhiker rides from the bottom of, I do believe it was Bellagio Road and Moraga, which was right adjacent to Sepulveda Boulevard. And she would say, girls, where are you going? And they go, oh, we're going to the Berry House. And the Berry House they were referring to as Jan Berry of Jan and Dean, the original surf group of the 1960s. And my mom said, all right, come on in. I live on Lower Linda Flora. They would pile into the car, and I'd be in the front seat, and I would turn around and look at the girls, and my mom would go through this whole involved, well, I'm Mrs. Oman, and I'm going to take you up to my house, and then you can walk from there. You know, conquers the most arduous part of the journey, walking up the hills. It's the safest way to go, and this way you'll just have the last half mile to walk up, blah, blah, blah. And this is my son, David. And they would talk and blah, blah, blah. And I would sit there and look in their eyes and go, there's something in their eyes. It just was like strange. And I'm a 5-year-old kid, you'd say. I said, yeah. But I had a sister who was 13 years old, was 8 years older than I was. And it was like one of these strange things. I was just going, and I didn't think anything of it other than the fact that it struck me as provocatively weird. Mm-hmm. And then she would drive up to the house and she goes, well, this is as far as I go. You know, I'm not a chauffeur. And I think about this now because it plays in my mind like it was yesterday. And I remember her saying it because she said it every single time. She goes, look, she goes, this is it. And she goes, this is my house. And she'd literally point out the house. This is my house. And you girls get out, and goes, I'm going to turn around and park my car. And you girls have a very nice day. And they were always very nice and polite and really genuine. So after the murders took place, my mom never again gave hitchhikers rides, ever. And
Do
that
you
was,
think any of the girls, you or your mom recognize any of the girls as being involved in the
well,
Manson family?
in late 1969 in December, when the news broke on the evening news about they discovered and uncovered who the crimes were committed by, meaning the Sharon Tate murders, and they showed the girls protesting in front of Parker Center. My mom said at the dining table, it's like, oh my God, David, those are the girls that I gave rides to. Remember that? And it's like, they're going to Jan Berry's house. And it's like one.
Oh boy. Wow.
So fast forward about 6 months later, in mid-July 1970, the trial is in full swing. I wake up one morning before everybody else, and I go into the kitchen, and it's 7:30 in the morning, and I go into the kitchen. I look at the sliding glass door to the patio, and it's opened, and I'm like, going, no. I was the last one in the kitchen. Therefore, it was my responsibility to lock the doors and the kitchen doors as well as sliders, because it was the responsibility of the last person in the kitchen had to lock the doors. And it's like, I was very, very adamant about doing that. So I sat there and I looked, I said, oh God, I said, what the? And then my eyes look out into the backyard and I see over the railing my dad's trousers. And I look beyond that on the patio table near the swimming pool, something glistening in the sunlight, in the early morning sunlight. And I go out there and it's a gosh darn Sara Lee coffee cake with the icing cake tin. And I see there's a piece of cake that's removed, that's been cut out. And I see that piece of cake is on the table on a plate. And there's a bite mark out of the cake. And next to that, I see a Kraft American single that's literally the half that you open up that's is missing. And the other half under the wrapper is still there. And I'm like, and then I look around, I said, oh my God, there's my mom's purse hanging over the hedge. And I go, what the hell? And I realized that somebody was in the house while we were all asleep. And we didn't know anything about Creepy Crawl because that hadn't been released to the public until 1974, 75, when the book Helter Skelter came out.
So for my audience who may not know, what is the creepy crawls?
Creepy Crawl, which we later found out in the book Helter Skelter, was when the Manson family was sent on night maneuvers, special ops type of things. Manson would submit the kids, the family, to go into a person's residence, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and move objects around and leave a sign as if somebody was there, and then make sure that there were clear marks somebody was there, like taking a pair of slacks, putting it over a railing, taking a purse and leaving it out in the backyard, and taking the money and leaving the wallet there. Excuse me. Taking some food and leaving telltale signs that you were there.
That's very scary.
And it happened not only in 1970, but also in 71. And it's strange as hell because I was just a kid and it was like, I was the first one who found them because I was the first one up. And my mom later remarked, she said to me, she goes, well, it's a good thing you didn't suffer from one of your sleepwalking attacks, David. And I'm thinking, yeah, we all would have met a terribly unsatisfactory end.
That is horrific. Well, David, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.